good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what that condition is, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never ever alone. Now, here on Invisible Condition, we get it. I get it. Everybody that's been on this show has had something, has had some sort of thing that has made their life difficult at times, right? There are always those hard days. Okay, totally get it. Been there. Been there this week. let's be real. Let's be honest here. Been there this week. The other thing is, though, that I have to remember, that I invite you to remember as well, is that there is always, always hope. There's always hope. And so, if you are experiencing a time that you are wondering, where in the world did the hope go? Where the heck is my hope? I want you to shoot me an email at jeff@hydrowithhope.com and just put hope in the subject line. Now, I also have this option as well, where you can comment during the show and, all that kind of stuff. You can do this, kind of thing. But I don't want it to be public. If it's something that you're struggling with, email me at that email address, because I want to help you. So drop me a line right there. Just put hope in the subject line. And along those lines, with what I just put up there before this right here, that is a beautiful way for you to communicate with us during the show today. So if you hear me or my guest today say something that you're like, wow, I totally agree, that's awesome, I want to talk to this person, or what are you talking about? I've never heard that before. Whatever. Just drop a comment in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, and we can have a conversation there. So super easy. Love social media, right? It makes it so much easier to do that kind of stuff. So feel free, knock yourself out, and that's how we can do that. So, all right, now I am very excited to tell you about the guest you get to meet today. She spent over 25 years growing organizations. Wait a second. Do I have the... Yeah, I have the right one. Good Lord, what am I doing? You know what? Welcome to live TV, everybody. I thought I had the wrong I had the wrong thing in front of me, and I didn't. I had the right one in front of me the whole time. Sometimes you never know what's going on, right? Anyway, today, Kat Wolfe is my guest today, and Kat's amazing. And for over 25 years, she's been helping organizations grow, scale, and succeed at the highest levels, while privately navigating the daily realities and tough stuff, man, with bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, and ADHD. So that's quite a combination. So Kat brings a rare blend of corporate leadership, creative vision as a reality show producer. Hello, that's pretty cool. And deeply personal insight into what it means to live and thrive with invisible conditions. Like, all of this works together for her good, which makes it really awesome that we have her on the show to tell you her story. So today she's opening up about some of the challenges and breakthroughs, and we're just gonna have a conversation and see where it goes. That's how we roll around here. So let's bring Kat on the show here, and we'll go from there. Hold on just a second. I pushed the right button. There she is. Kat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Absolutely. This is pretty awesome. It always amazes me how I get to meet so many cool people doing this show, man. All the different conversations we get to have, and all the cool stuff we get to teach everybody out there. And it's just awesome. So I'm so glad you're here. I do have one question that I do like to get to ask everybody that's on the show before we get started, because I always love the answer. There's no wrong answer. On the toughest days, when you were, maybe it was when you were not sure what the diagnosis was, or maybe it was, everybody has rough days. On those rough days, how do you, Kat, still maintain hope?
Well, I can say with absolute definition and confidence that I did not have hope at my lowest points. In fact, I was suicidal.
Mm.
Um, I've experienced low and had to find the glimmer of hope and climb my way out of there.
Yeah.
My lowest of lows before I was diagnosed, yeah, I would get suicidal. It's happened a few times in my life.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. That's totally understandable. With bipolar, that's a really tricky one to navigate. And you're not the only person that we've had on the show with that. And every story that I've heard related to bipolar and I mean it can be rough. Yeah, I don't doubt it. So,
Yeah, my first suicidal attempt actually was when I was 11 years old.
oh, good
And
Lord.
the only reason it didn't, well, I shouldn't say the only reason it didn't succeed, who knows if it would have, but I intended to take a whole bottle of Tylenol. I thought that would kill me,
Whew.
and it might have.
Well, it
Uh,
might have at 11. Yeah.
yeah. But my mom had a weird feeling, she said, and came home early from university that day. And right, like I had written all my letters and
Oh,
sealed them.
wow.
I was dressed up and I was about to take the pills, and she opened the door to the house.
Oh, good Lord. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. That
That was a rough
is
one.
that's some divine timing right there, I tell you.
Yep. Mother's
Um,
instinct.
that's for sure. Holy smokes.
She never
Well,
knew. I didn't tell her.
no, 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 that's good. No, well, I guess that's a double-edged sword, right? Do you tell her or do you not, right?
I
So,
should have.
yeah, you didn't. Does she still doesn't know, huh?
She doesn't know about that incident, no. And she was
Wow.
studying psychology.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, that would have blew her mind right out of her back of her head, wouldn't it have?
Yes.
You wouldn't have known what to do with that. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Well, I guess that was a good decision then. Yeah, don't tell your mom that. Yeah, that could have ended poorly. So, well, when you were first, so let's go back there. When you were first diagnosed, I mean, well, that you didn't know that was going on at that point, but when you were first diagnosed, what was that experience like? Like getting that diagnosis that this is what's actually going on.
it was life-changing because, um, you struggle your whole life and you just think it's normal, like everybody deals with this, just shape up and get on with the day.
That's right.
But you don't know that everybody else isn't struggling the same way. Everybody has struggles, but in the same way, it's not.
Yeah.
And everybody struggles differently. And so I was struggling through my life and managing the best I could. I have rapid cycling bipolar, so I'd be up for 3 weeks and then down for 3 weeks, up for 3 weeks, down for 3 weeks. And I was a top performing sales rep at the time. And this is well before I was diagnosed, but my
Yeah.
manager at the time, in our our annual one on one, sat me down and said, Kate, or Kat, sorry, I go by Kat now. You're really awesome for 3 weeks. You go, go, go. And it's true. Like I would have meetings from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would just kill it. And like I hit President's Club every year. Like I was number one in the country for Fortune 500 companies.
Nice.
And but I would have these 3 week lows where I would do nothing.
Yeah.
And he called it out. He said, you do this. And I had no idea. Like I really had no clue that I had been doing that because it was just reactionary, like I was just flowing with the ebb. And so when I finally I had another suicidal attempt in my 30s, in my mid to late 30s, and my mom found out and brought me to the hospital. I
Mm,
was asleep. Like I took sleeping pills and I tried to cut my wrists and everything, and I fell asleep,
wow.
thankfully. But she brought me to the hospital, and that's where I was finally diagnosed. And I was in there for several days. I can't remember how long now. I was out of it, but
Yeah.
hearing that I actually had a condition made everything fall into place, and I could understand myself better and control myself better.
Sure.
And then, of course, they put me on drugs.
Mm,
and that made a whole world of difference. But
yeah.
that's another story.
Well, and it's the right drugs that you got on, right? It's because for instance, there was a woman that I had on the show a couple of years ago that was took her 12 years to get the right diagnosis, right? They were trying to figure it out. Prescribe this, prescribe that. Nope, that's not right. Try this. So it's yeah. Sometimes you don't get it right on the first try, right?
No, it took 2 years, and that's why I say
Oh,
it was another story because I don't even remember those 2 years of my life.
oh,
Like, it's
sure.
gone. I have a
Yeah,
memory here and there, and that's it. 2
yeah.
years of my life are just out of the window.
Wow, that's unbelievable. I mean, I don't think I have a pocket like that that's out, but there's pockets in my life that I don't remember too, but I don't think I can call it 2 years. That's significant. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It
yeah,
hurts.
yeah, yeah. That is. It would.
Other
Um,
people remember things, and you're like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
I guess."
yeah, man. Well, one of the other things that you told me that was part of this whole diagnosis thing, and maybe it was probably at a different time, right? Because everything doesn't come at the same time sometimes, right? But can you distinguish, like maybe tell me what exactly is borderline personality disorder? Because that was another thing in your bio there, and I don't really I'm not 100% familiar with that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I understand of it from my own experience, and that is,
Mhm.
first of all, it's untreatable. You
Okay.
can't treat it with drugs, and it's supposed to dissipate with age.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not feeling anything yet, but we'll
So
see.
was that something that was diagnosed really young, and that's why you're
It was all diagnosed at the same time,
oh,
except
it
the
was. Oh,
ADHD
okay,
that
okay,
was
okay,
later.
okay.
Yeah, but they diagnosed the bipolar and BPD on the same day.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, okay.
And it like what I have experienced from it is just major rushes of anger, and I mean like insane anger. Like I could rip somebody apart and stuff them in the wall, kind of thing. And it
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere, like for nothing, and it dissipates as fast as it comes. But it is strong when it comes, man, and, like, that
Mhm.
is hard to control, and I've been in some pretty dicey situations because of my anger issue,
Mm.
and I've managed to get it under control mostly
Yeah.
over the years. I still
Okay.
get mad every now and then, but I can now control it pretty quick and get it under control and suppress it. Um, but yeah, like I have, for instance, had such road rage that I have gone up to other vehicles and pounded on their window, trying to get them to unroll their windows so I could yell at them.
Ooh.
And like, God knows what they could have done. These were
I
men.
mean, you could have been ended pretty quickly there if with the right person behind the wheel. Yeah.
I had a gun brought out on me one time. I followed a person to their house to educate
Oh.
them on how to drive,
Ooh. Oh,
like it's my
oh.
job, you know. And uh, and yeah, he came out with a shotgun, so that
I
was
mean, I'm not gonna lie, I might have done something similar if somebody followed me home. I don't know. That's yeah, I can't say I could I can't say I blame them.
yeah,
Yikes. That's scary, man. That's
yeah.
scary. Holy cow. Okay, well, so we figured out that that showed up pretty clearly in your workplace, right? Your coworkers and your boss like kind of pointed it out to you. Was it a surprise when they did that? Was it like, what? What are you even talking about? Or did it like, because did you just not remember those 3 weeks that you were
No,
down? Or
I
is
just
that,
didn't even like it was just kind of part of my whole life, so it wasn't really identifiable. It was just like part of what I did. It
huh?
was just normal. Like I didn't identify it or call it out as being weird or abnormal or
This
like
is, this is what
something.
everybody does.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I've done this. I've had same. There's probably thousands and thousands of people out there that are watching right now that are probably saying the same thing. Well, doesn't everybody do that? Like I always thought to myself, well, doesn't everybody have multiple brain surgeries before they graduate high school? That's
Right.
normal, right?
Yeah.
No big deal. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
But I thought it was because it was my it just well, and your parents treated you. How did your parents deal with that or your friend? Like, was it just, oh, we're good. We're just gonna kind of move on with life, or was it like a big thing, or what?
No, I was actually very well behaved with my parents. I guess fear-based respect growing up, but no,
Okay.
I was very well behaved with my parents. It was always with strangers. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
it was never with family. Like I never
That makes sense.
exploded on colleagues or friends or anything like that. It was always in some kind of situation,
Hmm.
and it would cause me. I would feel a particular way, and that would affect me a way, and then I would react.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that kind of tracks actually from the limited information, for the limited knowledge that I have of what you're dealing with. I've heard that, a little bit, that there's still that sense of family, that's still that sense of, you don't attack your family, right? You don't attack your friends, you know.
Yeah,
Anybody else on the street's fair game, but nobody nobody in the family. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, so I guess that's a silver lining, right? You weren't going after your parents or your anybody,
I guess. Yeah,
I
that is a
guess, I
silver
don't
lining,
know.
but I still feel bad for those people that I
I mean, yes,
verbally
yeah,
attacked.
yeah,
I never
yeah.
physically attacked anyone. I was always just yelling.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
silver
I didn't beat
lining,
anyone
right?
up.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I did
so
study MMA, so I could have, but I didn't.
well, okay. Well, thank you for that. I didn't want to have to record this from behind bars or anything. So that's good. It works better this way.
It does.
So, what, so, so was there any time that, like you were saying, it just felt normal when you were out and about, like at work or whatever, but was there any time that you wanted to like hide it or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is going on and I don't want people to know, so I'm just gonna kind of conceal it and not do anything, and
The only time that happened to me was because it was visible. We were on the road as a team. So I was working at Yellow Pages Group,
okay.
and we would go through and do book closes, right? So we would
Mhm.
travel around and we would work that city until that entire directory was closed. Um, so we were in the Kootenays in BC,
Okay.
and I was just having, it was my first time on the road with this company, and I was just having a real hard time getting started. I must have been in a dip. And I was hiding in my room and I wasn't doing any work. And my boss came and knocked on my door and said, Kat, have you had any meetings yet? And I said, no, I haven't. And this was like 3 days into the being in the city or the town.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, why? Like, what's stopping you?
Yeah.
And he said, do you just not know where to start or what's the problem? And I said, no, I'm not feeling motivated. And I mean, I'm always motivated. Like I'm the most motivated person I know.
There you go. Yeah.
So, when I'm down though, I'm not feeling that motivation. Like that's gone.
Yeah.
Um, but so I that was a realization to me because again, it was just normal to me, and I wasn't hiding it, but I was hiding from the situation, which was work.
Yeah.
Like I should have been out there working, and I didn't. I was feeling down, so I was just hiding in my room, being by myself and not talking to my colleagues, not asking for help, not doing anything,
Yeah.
and just completely inactive.
Hmm.
So he came around and kicked me in the butt, and it got me going. Like I got out there and I started doing it, so it worked. But it's hard to get out of that when you are in a depression. It is hard to get any kind of motivation to get up and do anything.
It really can be. I mean, there's times that I think there's times that everybody goes through that kind of stuff, whether they're diagnosed, whether it's like I'm diagnosed with depression or I'm
Yeah,
diagnosed with this or that, or whether you're not. I mean, maybe you don't have depression, but I mean,
you just
everybody
don't
has
know.
those
Yeah,
days, right? And
yeah,
it's sometimes it's really hard to pull yourself out.
totally.
So, yeah, yeah, it's true. I yeah, I mean, I've had days like that too, but I've never been diagnosed with anything like that. So,
I'm
that's
sure you've had a lot of depression with your condition as well, like just from everything that would bring into your life. I'm sure it would cause some depression.
I don't know. I'm not sure that the see, I think I was set up pretty well as a kid. My
Yeah.
parents were very strategic, I think, about how they talked to me about it. So they could have gone two different, very different routes. They could have said, you know what, Jeff, you have a condition where there's brain surgery involved, and there's, you might have to have this kind of surgery, that kind of surgery. You might have to take, I don't know, you might have to be careful. Maybe we should get you a bubble to put you in, or get you a helmet or something or whatever. And, we got to shelter you because no, that's not what they did. They said, look, Jeff, we love you. You are normal. You're a totally normal kid. Once in a while, you have to have surgery. Once in a while, it might be brain surgery. Until then, go do your thing. Go live your life. Go be a kid. And so, and yes, I have had, since that time, I've probably had 5 or 6 brain surgeries, and I've probably had another 5 or 6 surgeries overall that weren't brain surgeries, and they've all gone the way they've gone, and I've carried on, probably because of what they said when I was a little kid, that this is
Yeah.
normal, it's fine, you're fine, you can make it through it, just go do your thing. So I think so I love that you didn't get sucked into the whole woe is me, thing. And because that, some people, we just went to our 30th high school reunion last year, and 30 years out of high school. I couldn't even believe it. And we went, and there was one person in the class that I, like, most of them didn't even know that this was a thing for me, because in high school, I didn't have anything that looked like I had any kind of condition. I had a brain surgery about 2 months after I graduated high school, but during high school, nobody knew a thing. And so, but I ran into a classmate that was, living on disability, and she had all these diagnoses and all these things. And she was very much immersed in that whole mindset of, oh, I got to do what the doctor says. And I'm this and that and this. And I'm like, I just didn't know what to say to that.
Hmm.
Because I wasn't raised that was not my attitude that was instilled in me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that resonate with you at all? I mean, do you?
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, because for me, it was very helpful and enlightening and like a load off of my shoulders because it was identifiable now. Like, okay, something is wrong. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
suicidal for no reason. Like,
right.
you know, there's a reason why this is happening. And once I knew that there was a reason behind my suicidal episodes and that I wasn't just so sad,
Yeah,
that I wanted to end my life because it wasn't worth it and it was so painful. Um, and that was why. It was because it just hurt so bad. Like I was in so much physical and mental pain
yeah,
from being bipolar, not because I cut my leg off or anything, just in physical
right.
and mental pain from it. And I wanted to end my life because it was like, I know everybody loves me and they're gonna miss me, but they'll get over it. I need to get out of here. Like
Yeah,
that was my mindset.
I yeah,
And
I get it. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm so happy that I'm not there anymore. Like I want to live now. Like I want to live. And if anything happens in the least that threatens my life, it's like, no, no. Like I want to live.
no,
I want to live.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Well,
So
that's awesome.
totally different, like a 180 after being diagnosed.
I love that. That is fantastic, because once you get diagnosed, then you know kind of the roadmap, right? You kind of know what to do and how to go about it, and it might take a minute to get it right, or 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
A minute, 2 years, but once you get it figured out, then you're off and running. So
Yes.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what,
So
I have I really, we got so much of this story to tell still, but I want to pause for just a second. I feel like this is a good place to pause just for a second. I'm going to just talk to the nice people watching about a couple sponsors that are supporting us, and then I'll bring you right back,
mhm,
and we'll continue with the conversation. So, Kat, thank you so much for being here, and
you're welcome.
we'll see you in just a minute. All right, everybody, listen up. I don't want to take too much time with this, because I know that this story is like blowing your mind, because Kat's awesome. So I'm going to just make this quick. First thing I want to tell you about, though, is our whoops, that's not what I meant to put. Where did it? That's my email. By the way, if you heard me talking about that at the beginning, there's my email. Um, there we go. That's what I wanted to put there. Um, so Hydro with Hope. Actually, this might be better so you can see this better. There we go. Hydro with Hope is our nonprofit, and that is the nonprofit arm of Invisible Condition. And Hydro with Hope is there to help families that are living with the condition that I was born with, which is called hydrocephalus, which very often requires multiple brain surgeries over somebody's lifetime. I've only had 7. I know it sounds weird to say it like that. Only 7 brain surgeries. On average, people with this condition are having brain surgery to treat it every 2 to 3 years. I'm 49. Do the math there. I am way ahead of the curve. 7 brain surgeries in 49 years is pretty good. So I want to help others in that arena that are struggling. And we have published an amazing fill in the blank journal to help people to information, emotional download, take care, like keep track of medical records, keep track of doctor visits, keep track of questions you want to ask at those doctor visits, anything you want to put in there to make your life easier with this crazy condition. That's what it's for. There's even some fun stuff like, hey, put a picture in there about your crazy post-surgery flock of seagulls hairdo, that they get the glue in there and it looks really funny, man. In fact, one of those pictures is in the intro to the show. My flock of seagulls haircut was post-surgery one time. It's pretty crazy. So anyway, that's the journal. My wife and I always also love talking to families about this and just, from the caregiver side, my wife has some amazing perspective. From the patient side, I have some. We just like to talk to people and speak at organizations around the country and around the world. So all of that takes funding, and that is a donation link that you're staring at on the screen. So if you feel so inclined, you can donate monthly on a regular basis, which we love. You can also do it one time, which we love. In any amount, it's all good. So the other thing I wanted to tell you about is our sponsor that sponsors the studio that we're sitting in here, and that is NRG, or Network Referral Group. It's NRG for short. And that group, if you are a business owner or you know a business owner that wants more connections, wants more leads, wants warm leads, wants good quality leads, oh my Lord, this is the place to be. Mike is a guy named Mike, who is a good friend of mine, runs this organization. He's in the Baltimore, Maryland area, and he knows networking. He knows what's up with networking, and he's been doing this for 26 years. And he was doing it in person for a long time, and then when COVID hit, he went online, and now he runs 32 networking calls a week that you have an opportunity to join and grow your business through these networking connections. So if you ever want more networking opportunities, this is the place. So scan that QR code, tell Mike that Jeff at Invisible Condition sent you, and I'll look forward to seeing you on a call in the near future, and we can chat on that call too. So, all right, that is quite enough of that. Let's bring Kat back on here and pick up where we left off. So, I think what we were talking about. What were we talking about? Memory's only the second thing to go, right?
Yeah.
What do we,
I'm not sure where we left off, to be honest.
well, what do we want to talk about then? Let's see here. You you're now are you is the reality relationship show, is that something you're doing currently?
Yeah, well, it's not in production yet, but
Okay, well,
that's
let's talk about that because that's really cool. When you told me, I was like, wow, we got to get the word out about that. So let's talk about that. That's kind of cool.
sure. So last year, I mean, I love psychology, and I've always been curious about relationships. I mean, I grew up not knowing what a good relationship looked like.
Mm,
But as an adult, I got to know my grandparents very well, and they have been an absolute idol of mine as a relationship, something a goal to move towards.
yeah.
Um, and I had a failed marriage early in life as well. So, and I look back on that and think I could have done things so much better and differently and had different results. But, we are where we are, and I have a wonderful husband now who I love so much.
Nice.
So I can't complain, but I'm just saying I could have done things better. Um, but yeah, I can't even remember where I was going with that train of thought. Oh, makeup or breakup. My show, I came to the thought last year, what if we took 6 couples on the brink of divorce and actually put them through an immersive therapy session for 12 weeks? What would the result be? Would they still
Hmm.
want to get divorced? Or perhaps would they be able to work things out?
Yeah.
And so I took that idea and I started running with it. And the show concept that I've come up with is taking 6 couples on the brink of divorce, putting them through sex therapy, psychotherapy, financial planning, family law advice, and spiritual healing, and do that separately as well as together.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they'll have all this information and experience under their belts that they wouldn't have done on their own.
Right.
And they'll be able to come to a clear decision on camera of whether they're going to renew their vows now under a new contract or separate forever.
Oh, that's so cool. And so let me ask you a question about that. That sparked something in my mind that I'm wondering about. So marriage counseling, I feel like it has been missing something. And for some people, it's fantastic. There's a couple different models, right? There's the intensive model where you go for a few weeks and then you're done, and you have the tools that you gain the tools, you've got the resources, and and then you go and do likewise, right? You use the tools.
Yeah.
Or there's the weekly, I like to call it like the once a week for the rest of your life kind of therapy that just, like, which is helpful for some people,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm kind of biased towards the intensive model because that's what I really go towards. But
Yeah.
is that kind of what you do, is like give them tools during the time, and then, or do you like follow up with continuous counseling afterwards?
There will be a little bit of continued afterwards just for mental health's sake. It's
Sure.
not required by law or anything, but that's something that I want to do is continue support for a couple weeks or a few weeks after the show wraps up so that whatever's going through their mind, they're not alone.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
we don't have any unfortunate incidents or anything like that.
Right.
Um, yeah, because you never know. I mean, that's a very touchy subject when you're that far gone in a relationship and you don't know what you're doing anymore, and there's kids involved, and like, oh, I just
Mm.
I don't have kids, so I can't imagine what these people are going through.
Yeah. Well, and it's true. When you bring kids into the mix, it just throws a whole nother stick of dynamite into the whole situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the audience knows this. I'm not sure how much I've talked about this, but back in the day, before I hosted a TV show for 12 years in the mid-teens and 2000s and stuff, I used to be a private investigator, process server, and armed security. So I would do a lot of those, you know, what, by the way, I've never once said in that entire 12 years, you've been served. That's just a TV thing, everybody. I'm just going to let you in on that secret.
Oh, really?
They only say that in TV, okay, on the TV shows to sensationalize it. I've never said that to anybody, but I have served hundreds and hundreds of people during that time. And the ones that really killed me were the ones that where it was for divorce or for child custody or all that kind of stuff. So because I do have 3 kids and I can't even imagine that being part of the mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be. I got all kinds of responses from serving those kind of situations.
I
Um,
can't even imagine what kind
yeah,
of
I
responses you would have
mean,
got.
some of them, was a couple of them. There was one in particular that I remember that she was all excited. She's like, "Yes, I can't believe these actually got here. This is a dream come true." I'm like, it actually came to you, right? You didn't serve him. That actually did anyway. And if there's kids involved, like you should never be jumping for joy for that if there's kids involved, because
Yeah.
they are never going to understand the whole scope of it all. They're just going to know that one parent's not there anymore, and so
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's, I guess, silver lining for your situation with that, but it's because it's
Yeah,
hard
I'm
enough
hoping to
without it.
save some marriages, like, save
Yeah.
some marriages, save some kids from their life outcome, and make a difference in the world. That's really
Yeah.
what I want to do. Like all these reality shows that are out there about relationships are such crap. Like
Oh, I
they're just
agree.
sensationalism for drama. That's it.
I
Like it's
know.
just entertainment.
Uh,
And this will be high drama and entertainment,
sure.
but you're going to learn from it because there's common threads in relationships, like money problems, infidelity, lying, like you don't like the way somebody cooks, whatever. Like, you know, you're gonna hear something that resonates with you through the six couples, and
Yeah.
you're going to learn from it as a result. So, and you're going to have your favorites and the ones that you hate and all that. So it'll be fun. And I plan to have audience participation as well.
Ooh.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it should be a really dynamic show that I plan to move around the world,
Ooh.
um, and really have some impact.
Well, I am very excited to talk more about that. Maybe after we get done here, we can have a short conversation because I might have some connections for you that might be able to get the distribution out there a little
Okay.
bit. So yeah, with a couple different networks that I know of. Obviously, the one we're on now is a really
Mhm.
good one, and they love doing shows like that travel around and do like mini series of things, and then they pick up and do another one, and that kind of thing. So anyway,
Okay.
we can figure that out. But that is really cool.
Thank
That
you.
is such a cool concept.
Thank you.
Did you that just fall right into your head one day, or were you talking to somebody and they kind of helped
It
you come up with that, or
just one day it just was
just
there.
there you go?
It was just like this little seed, and I started
Yeah,
thinking about it and putting it together, and then I started writing it down, and then I started with AI going back and forth and got
nice.
the documents made and the website designed, and yeah,
I love
it
it.
just started going. And now I have a mentor that I just met with today, my first mentor in my entire life. I've
Awesome.
always been the mentor, never a mentee, always wanted to be a mentee. And I'm happy to say that I now have a mentor through Women in Film and Television. And I met with her today, and she's amazing. So she's going to help me bring this to fruition as well.
Awesome. That's so
Yeah,
cool. That's so cool. I love it. I love it when a plan comes together, right?
right.
That's like the coolest thing. That's so cool. So speaking of that show and kind of where the premise from it goes, like obviously you have learned a lot through all of this about human connection and through I mean, that the lens of where you are coming from with the stuff that you've been diagnosed with. I mean, that changes it a little bit. So how's that influencing how you're doing this?
I think that I'm probably coming at it with more sensitivity to the mental health side of things
Yeah.
than maybe would be by a network. Um, but I really want to make sure that it's a safe place for all of the people participating in the show, like the therapists, the actual married couples, the people that are bringing food. Like everybody needs to be safe and have
Yeah.
access to a psychologist or mental health professional at
Nice.
all times. Like
Yeah.
24/7, there will be somebody there.
Smart. Yeah, you're thinking of all the stuff. Yeah, because you got to that is a huge safety thing, right? And you got
Yeah.
the probably the what is it called? There in our state in Colorado Springs in particular. I'm not sure if other cities do this. Mate, they probably do. I just haven't seen it. I had an experience on one of my gigs as a security guy that somebody was dropped a suicide note on the counter of where I was working at the time,
Mm.
and went out back the building to fashion a noose basically
Oh,
to
geez.
take care of business, and I caught it before he could do anything. I found him and like brought him back in the building, and we called 911, and and the people that came, it wasn't a cop car, it wasn't an ambulance. It was just a nondescript SUV that came, and it had a paramedic, a law enforcement officer, and a mental health professional in that vehicle. And
I love
all three of them came in together so that they could cover all the bases, right? And by the time they met with this guy for like 2 hours in a room, when they finally got to, and then they took him in the van and or the SUV or whatever, and took him off to wherever they were gonna treat him. Maybe he went for you know mental health help or something, but like that was really cool. I loved that that's what they did. Like they could have come in, boots on the ground, guns ablazing, and like hauled him out and what are you doing? And but they treated it more gently than that, which I love. Is that something you've seen in your world, or is that?
No, the opposite. In fact, when I was going through that 2 years of, I just remembered this actually. Totally forgot about this, but when I was going through that 2 years of getting the meds right,
Yeah.
uh, I was over at my mother's and I was alone for some reason, and I became suicidal.
Mm.
And so I called the cops on myself. Like I called
Oh,
911, not the
wow.
cops. I called 911 and said, "Look, I need some help. I am feeling suicidal. This is what's going on." And they sent cops, and they were all around the house, like with guns out and
Oh,
everything. And I'm thinking,
geez.
what are you doing? Like,
It's like, did you hear what I said on the phone? I didn't say
yeah,
I was gonna blow the house up. I'm not feeling right. That's
yeah, like I'm going to
wow.
kill myself, not somebody else. And they're like, well, we
Right.
have to treat it like you're a threat.
Ugh. See,
That's what they
that's where the
did.
combination I think that I was talking about there with the mental health professional and the paramedic and that is where that makes sense. You've got the bases covered. You're not just coming in there to crack skulls and take names.
That's right. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I know they've
Wow.
talked about that in parts of Canada, bringing
Yeah.
that kind of system. And I
Yeah.
hope I hope they do because that's the right way to go.
And that's the only time I've actually ever seen that is that one day. It was
Yeah.
probably, I don't know, might have been 8 or 10 years ago that I saw it, but that just blew my mind. I was like, "That was cool. That's
Yeah.
the way to do it." So, yeah,
Yes. Applause,
very nice.
applause on that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, well, just out of curiosity, do you have I know you've been working with people for a long time. Do you have any, like, favorite success stories or anything that, like, you think of a certain family or certain couple or certain person? Is there anything that you can share of, like, people that you've helped?
Oh, that I've helped?
Or
Yeah,
that yeah, through all
absolutely.
this?
I've got a girlfriend. I mean, this has happened several times, but the most recent is a girlfriend of mine that was suddenly laid off late in career. And so, she's in her 60s,
Mhm.
and nobody knew at work how old she was, by the way, but she was laid off. And obviously, in your 60s, your chance of getting another job is drastically reduced. Like ageism
Slim.
is real.
Right.
Um, and so she went into a major depression. And she thankfully chose me to talk to. And she told me what was going on. And I started having daily check ins with her, like
Mm.
multiple sometimes, but at least once a day, a check in. How are you doing? Have you gotten out of bed? Have you had a shower? And I eventually got her to go to the doctor and get antidepressants, but she was so against it. Like she was
Yeah.
just so against any drugs going into her body. And so she was against the diagnosis and she was against the drugs, both.
Right.
So it was a struggle to get her to the doctor. But I
Yeah.
got her to the doctor, and then she had the pills in hand. And then it was step two, get the pill into her body. She
Right.
didn't want to, and she was delaying it. And I finally said, look, why don't you come over, spend the night? You can take it here for the first time. And if anything goes wrong, there's people around you.
We're
You
here.
know,
Yeah.
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 That
Yeah.
was all she needed to hear. She took it that night on her own,
Nice.
and she's been on it ever since. And she is doing amazing now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that kind of stuff because that is, I mean, like at the beginning of the show, man, hope is a big deal. Hope is huge, and if you're not living around hopeful things, and if you're not in a world of hope, you're in a world of hurt. That's what you're in,
Yes.
and it can end very poorly, very quickly. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that is that is awesome. I love that. So, this is going to sound crazy, but I kind of want to ask you because you seem like the kind of person that might actually might actually have a good answer for this. Not everybody does, but is there anything about all this that you've been through that you're thankful for?
I mean, there's, first of all, I miss my highs of being bipolar before I was medicated because you're indestructible, invincible.
Well,
So
you feel like you are. Yeah.
you are, yeah, you feel like it for 3 weeks. You are just, for those 3 weeks for me anyway, I would just be like the best at everything. And I
Right.
totally believed it, it would come out, like I would be the best,
Yeah.
because I believed it so much. Um, but yeah, what I would say is positive about this whole thing is that I've learned to be more emotionally intelligent. Like
Ooh.
when I think back to my early 20s and how I would lead people, it was not the same as how I lead people now. Like, um, I was brought up in a fear respect based home, like that's kind of how I was leading to in my early 20s. And
Hmm.
that's not the way to do it. So I learned to work with more emotional intelligence, and that has been really helpful. And I also love that I've been able to help so many other people in my life through their depression or whatever hard time that they were going through, just by sharing some of my own distresses that I've been through and how I overcame them, and that it is
Yeah.
possible. There is sun on the other side of that tunnel. I promise. I promise it's there. Just trust me. Just come on. Just come
Yeah.
on down the tunnel.
I love that. The light at the end of the tunnel is not a train coming for you, I
That's
promise.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well, I, I actually, oh, I wanted that reminded me of this. I have this book on the shelf here, and every book that's on, everything in this background is on purpose, by the way, everybody. In case you were wondering, I didn't just throw this together. This is on purpose. It, it reminded me of this book right here,
Adversity quotient.
talking about emotional intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of the next, that's kind of the next thing. It's like, okay, emotional intelligence, and then and then once you get through that, then how
Adversity.
do you deal with adversity?
Oh, okay.
Based on that emotional intelligence, now how do you navigate through all that and stuff? So when you said that, I was thinking, oh man, that would be, that would be really cool. But anyway, yeah. So I'm trying to think how we could finish this up because this has been such a cool conversation, and I hope you've been learning something. By the way, if you're out there and you're learning something, because I'm learning something. I learned something from everybody on the show because this is all so cool. Um,
I think what I'd like to get across is that
yeah,
there is such judgment in society of having mental illness. And I'm here to tell you that if you're properly medicated and you're religious about it, like you take it at the same time,
mhm,
like you're supposed to, and don't go off it because you feel like you're feeling good. Um, stay on it. Do take your drugs as you're supposed to. You can perform very well at a very high level. Like, I own my own management consulting company. I have helped, I don't know how many companies, Fortune 500 companies, to concept stage with their businesses.
yeah,
And I've now created a TV show. Like you can do whatever you want to. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. Don't put limits on yourself just because you have a mental illness. You're not limited. You are not limited. It's just something that you have to finesse into your life and understand and accept and learn how to grow with.
Nice. Because that's the idea, is to grow with it, right? You figure out where you are, and then you don't let yourself stay there,
Yes,
right? Is that, and
exactly.
so yeah, that's kind of the that's kind of tough though sometimes, but sometimes you almost want to stay there. Because once you know what to do, then you can't unlearn it, right? You're like, oh crap.
And now I have
Now I
to
know what to do. Now I can't just complain. I got to
yeah.
actually dig myself out of the hole because I actually have the shovel, you know? Ugh, you know, I'm sure you've never dealt with that ever yourself or anybody you've ever worked with. Yeah.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. I didn't think so. I thought it was just me.
It's
Yeah.
just you, Jeff. You're special.
I'm the unique. I'm the anomaly, right?
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
good Lord. Well, we got about 2 minutes left. Is there any last thing that you'd like to leave our audience with in these last 2 minutes?
Um, really, I guess just don't judge people. Be kind. Be kind to other people because you don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they're dealing with that day. You don't know what they're dealing with in their life. So everybody just be kind to one another. And that's how we're going to have a better world.
Yeah. It's huge. That's a huge point. Yep. Yeah. That goes a long way. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. So
Hmm.
it sometimes some days it's easier than others. I'm not gonna lie. Come on, let's be honest. But
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. I love that. That's fantastic. Well, one last time, let's just point people to this amazing website you've got here. What are people going to see when they scan that QR code? We've had it up the whole show. What are people going to see when they go there?
They're going to see my website for Makeup or Breakup, and it's going to take you through a little bit of the journey that the show will take you on. So
Nice.
it's got my colors. It's very
Right.
representative of me.
And I'm
uh,
sure when it launches, it'll have it all over the place, and it'll be right. You'll shout it from the mountaintops. We won't be able to miss it.
Absolutely. Yes. I
Nice.
can't wait.
That's fantastic. Do you have an estimate of when that's going to be? Did you already say that and I forgot, or did you not say it yet?
For production,
For yeah.
it's going to take a while. Like I'm talking to people right now. I do have a producer that wants to work with me, but he wants to work on shorts.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've decided that that's not the way I want to go.
I see.
It's not the vision of my show at all. Like I want to have the 50-minute long episodes,
Yeah, yeah,
12 of them plus a tell-all. So I'm not going to deviate from that. And what
yeah.
I'm being told by the experts is be patient because it is going to take some time. But
Hmm.
now that I have this mentor, I think that I should be able to get traction within the next year.
Nice. Good. Well,
Yeah,
cool. Well, then you heard it first here, everybody. You just be patient. It'll come around. But well, maybe we should do another show when it's closer to release and we can brag about it and talk about it and shout it from the mountaintops. That'd be fun.
absolutely.
So that'd be awesome. So well, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Well, Kat, thank you so much for being here, man. We are out of time, unfortunately. But I'm so glad that we were here to do this and just honored that you took the time to spend with me. Thank you so much.
Me too. Thank you for helping me to get the story out, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. No problem. Love it. All right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm telling you, every time I learn stuff and I get excited about what they're doing and then I just want to dive in, man. I'm going to be going to that QR code and checking that out too over the next little while and see when that releases. That'll be fun. So, all right, I'm going to take that down now. So scan the QR code. It's going away. There it goes. There it goes. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. No matter where you're watching from, I appreciate you being here. It's such an honor to be here with you. And join me on my next episode, which will be Tuesday, April 28th. So we're almost at the end of April. Good Lord. Join me Tuesday, April 28th for our next show. And until then, have an amazing day. We'll see you next time.